Hey guys, in this video I'm going to go over how to replace the top and bottom covers of the original 3DS. As you can see, this is real scratched up. So what you want to do is remove the back cover. There's 4 screws. Now you get your replacement back cover. As you can see, looks pretty much brand new. A lot of these back covers don't come with the screws and washers. So if the screws and washers are in good condition on the original plate, I'm going to reuse them. Now you got to separate the screws from the washers. So to do that, I push down in that spot and then spin the screwdriver in reverse. As you can see, it's separated. I'm going to put this little washer in the spot and set the screw to the side. And you just do the same process 3 more times. Get it in there. Okay. Now that they're in the right spot, you take this new cover, line it up, and just screw the screws in. You might have to use a little pressure since you want to pop it into the place. Like you have to pop it through the opening of the washer. If it goes in too easy, you might have accidentally moved the washer as you were inserting it. So let me put the washers back in place. Do this process. Yep. Okay. And the last one on the side popped out. Okay, now we're good to go. Next is to remove the top. So there are actually a bunch of screws underneath this top lens. So in order to get to the screws to remove the top shell, you actually have to remove the top lens. So to remove the top lens, you just get a pry tool, get in between the lens and the plastic piece. So you get a pry tool and you kind of just stick it in and lift off. Make sure you're a little gentle with this, because if you use too much force, you can actually crack the top screen accidentally. So do this a little slowly. I was going to replace this anyway because, as you can see, these are like pretty scratched out. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Phillips head screws. Now the speakers are magnetic, so sometimes the screws will just stick to the speaker. You want to make sure you remove them. Now you could close the lid, and what I do is you got to pry the top shell off. I start from the top and kind of wiggle it a bit until it comes out. Now you take your replacement top lens. Sometimes these camera lens covers are not included, but this one, it is included. The only thing that's missing is this rubber piece for some reason, so I'm just going to take the old one and insert it. Now, one thing you have to be very careful of is the 3D slider. This might fall out. These things are very finicky, so you want to make sure you have them in the right spot. If you see here, this is the switch itself, and there's a slot on the slider. Make sure you line it up so that the switch is actually in that little groove. That way you can actually operate the switch. Now you take this top cover and just, I start from this side because there's like these three little, I don't even know what to call these, but you want to make sure they're lined up. And then you fold it down. Before you press down, just a little bit of movement and the 3D slider came out, like it's out of place. So you want to be very careful when you're doing this, because if I push down too hard, it would have broken the plastic piece. So just before you actually apply any pressure, make sure it's in the right spot. Okay, now that it's in, you just put the screws back. And yeah, I know it's not an exact match for the cover, but you know, Nintendo doesn't make these anymore, and the only way to get them is to get like the aftermarket ones, and sometimes the color is not completely exact, but I mean, it looks better than the original really scratched up one anyway. Yeah, and I mean, it's not perfect, but at least it looks much better than this. All right, so once you have the screws in, I hit the screen with a little canned air to get any dust out. I get the replacement screen. Make sure you don't touch this with your finger because you're gonna leave your fingerprint. Hit it with some air again. And before I close, like put the adhesive down, I want to make sure if there's any smudges or anything, because sometimes, you know, a person made this lens, so sometimes they might get their fingerprint on the other side of the lens, and once you put it down, it's going to be a pain in the butt to have to remove it again just to clean it. So I usually put it against this black background just to double check there's no smudges or anything underneath. If there is, you can just take the whole thing off and wipe the backside with like a cloth or something, and just clean it off. You know, because if there's any dust or fingerprint underneath the screen, you can't clean it. Anyway, yeah, that's how you replace the top and bottom shell.